make this amazing restaurant style chicken tikka recipe today, and I will leave a link to this garlic naans that I've made in the description box below. So let's get started. Now here I have a piece of coal that I'm heating up on a low to medium flame. Let it heat up for about 5 to 6 minutes till it turns nice and red. Heat 4 tablespoons of oil till it starts to smoke. Once it starts to smoke, turn off the heat and let this oil cool down completely. To a bowl, add 2 tablespoons of chickpea flour or besan. Add 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder. Add 1/4 teaspoon of garam masala. Add 1 teaspoon of chaat masala. Add half a teaspoon of cumin powder. Add 1 teaspoon of pepper powder. Add 2 tablespoons of kasuri methi. You can see I'm crushing up the kasuri methi. So just crush it up with your fingertips. Add some salt to taste. Give everything a nice mix. Mix all these ingredients well together. Add 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. Now here I've made the paste at home. So I've used half an inch of ginger and about 5 cloves of garlic and crush them to a nice coarse mixture. Add 4 tablespoons of curd or dahi. I'll leave the link of my recipe of how to make curd at home in the description box and comment section. Now mix all of these ingredients really well together. Now here I'm adding just about a 1/4 teaspoon of this orange red food color. This is completely optional. It's just that it gives this nice restaurant, kind of look to the recipe. So mix everything well so that the color, really shows up. And now the oil that we had heated up has completely cooled. So we are going to add that. Add that well and mix everything again really well together. So I'm taking 2 small capsicums. You can also use 1 large capsicum. Just cut off the tips and we're going to make this into squares. Now get rid of all the pips and the white color part of the capsicum. Wash it again under running water and then we're going to cut it into squares. So here you can see I've just slit it up in the middle, take off all the white portions, and this is how it should look. We just want some cubes or squares and try to flatten it up like I've done over here and get rid of all the whites and the seeds. So this is how the capsicum will look. So here I've washed one onion really well. It's a medium-sized onion. I'm just going to take off the peel and the sides and the little yellow part on the top. I always do that. I get rid of the yellow part on the top. Again, wash it under running tap water. Do the same with the other one as well. And then we're just going to cut it in the center and fold like this. And then just separate each of them till you get these type of cubes similar to the capsicum. So set this aside. Now here I have 450 grams of boneless chicken I've cut into cubes. I'm going to add it to the marinade that we prepared and mix it in really well with the marinade so that all the chicken gets coated well. Add the cubed onions and capsicum and again mix everything really well together. Now that the charcoal has nicely heated up, add this charcoal to a small vati, and you're going to add about half a teaspoon of ghee or clarified butter. It will start smoking. Immediately cover this and keep this aside for 15 minutes. Here we have 2 elaichis, 2 bay leaves, 1 large tomato, 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste, that is half an inch of ginger and 4 cloves of garlic, 4 to 5 cloves of garlic. I made it into coarse paste, and these are 3 onions that I've sliced fine. Now here I have about 2 tablespoons of oil heating in a vessel. So once the oil is hot, I'm going to add the elaichi, the bay leaves, then I'm going to add my ginger garlic paste. Now fry everything well. We're going to fry this till the rawness of the ginger and the garlic goes away. So about for half a minute, fry this mixture really well. Now we're going to add the onions, and we're going to fry the onions till they become nice and soft and translucent. So this took me another half a minute to 1 minute. You can stir in between, or you can stir continuously. I like to use this large pot because it becomes easier, to cook the dish. Now I've added the tomato, and we're going to cook this tomato till it becomes nice and soft. So that will also take about 1 minute. You can stir continuously, or you can stir in intervals. Now once everything is cooked really well, you can just press down the tomato with your spoon and you'll see that it's nice and soft. You can turn off the heat because we want this mixture to cool down a bit, and we're going to transfer it to a mixer jar and grind it to a fine paste. So I've taken out the bay leaves. We're not going to grind the bay leaves, and I've transferred everything to my mixer jar and just let it go into cool down. You can see that there's some smoke coming out of it because it's still hot. So let it cool, and then we're going to grind it. This is what the paste will look like, and we've also reserved the water. We're going to use that too. And now I've added 1 tablespoon of oil to the same pan, and we are going to now add our marinated chicken and the capsicum as well as the onions to this hot oil. Mix everything really well with the oil, and now we're going to cover and cook this for about 5 to 7 minutes, stirring in intervals. Now once the chicken is cooked, we're going to transfer this mixture to another bowl. Now heat half a tablespoon of oil in the same pan. Now we are going to add the ground paste, and we're going to fry this paste till oil oozes out of this paste. So this should take you about 1.5 to 2 minutes on a low to medium flame, stirring continuously. The paste will start to thicken, and you will see that oil starts oozing out of this mixture. This is a very important step in this recipe. You can see now how the mixture has thickened. Now we're going to add some spices. Add 1 light green chili cut fine. Fry the chili well. Add half a teaspoon of pepper powder, that is black pepper powder. I generally use black pepper powder. Mix it all well. Next, we're going to add about 2 teaspoons of coriander powder or dhania powder. This is coarsely ground dhania or coriander powder. Mix everything well. And now we're going to add about 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder. This is more for the color because Kashmiri red chili powder is not spicy. So again, mix all of this really well. Now I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of fresh coriander or dhania leaves. Again, mix everything well together. Now we're going to add the masala water, a little of at a time, and mix well. It all depends on whether you want it more of a gravy or more thick. Depending on that, you can add as much or as little of the masala water or extra water. Now I've added the chicken mixture to this gravy and we're going to mix everything really well together. And like I said, you can just add as much or as little of the water that you need. If you want to have more of a gravy or more of a dry, then cover and cook for about 5 to 7 minutes on a low flame, stirring in intervals. And add 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. And I'm going to add just about half a cup of a cream. This is just the cream from the milk, that is the soy, and then mix everything well together. And our gravy or our chicken dish is almost ready. I'm just going to give it a little bit more of cooking time. So we're just going to cover and cook this again. Scrape the sides because the gravy is at the sides. So just scrape the sides. And then again, we're going to cover and cook this just for about 2 to 3 minutes for that extra flavor. And after 2 to 3 minutes, you can see that our chicken tikka gravy is all ready to enjoy. So here it is, friends, all ready to eat. Just squeeze a little bit of lime and have it with this beautiful garlic roti. And it's a feast and it's something really, really delicious. Let's make the filling for these lovely chicken samosas. So to 250 grams of chicken, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste, 2 teaspoons of pepper powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic bread seasoning, or you can use any Italian seasoning that you have, 1 teaspoon of red chili flakes, some salt to taste, and some Kashmiri red chili powder, and 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. So we're just going to keep this aside for about 15 minutes. Now I'm going to heat up my pan with 2 tablespoons of oil, and I'm going to just put this marinated chicken into it and fry the chicken really well till the chicken is nice and cooked. You can also use olive oil for this recipe. And then we're going to just cover and cook it. Now let's prepare the bread in the meantime. So you just take some slices of bread. You can use brown bread, you can use white bread, whole wheat bread, whole grain bread. And I'm just going to cut off the sides because it makes it easier to form the samosas. And this is a great snack item, a great starter item, a great tiffin item. You can also give it to your kids, whenever they're hungry, just make the filling and keep ready and then just make the bread. Now just roll out the bread as much as you can, and the fresher the bread, the better. So just roll it with a rolling pin till it becomes completely flat. Like this. And you can even use the large sandwich bread slices. You'll get more area, more space to make it. And then just roll it into this cone like this. You can also use a little bit of water and seal up the edges. But it's very easy, with the bread, once you roll it out, it's very easy to form the cones like this. Just press them down together. You can also wet your hands a little and just press them down together so that it gets sealed. And now just fill the cones with this cooked up chicken. Our chicken it took about 10 to 15 minutes for the chicken to get cooked on a low to medium flame. And then I'm just going to fill it up like this. And then we're going to seal it up on the top by using a little bit of water. We're going to seal the top. And then dip it into some one beaten egg, and to some breadcrumbs, and keep them aside. And then all you have to do is either you can shallow fry them or you can deep fry them, because the chicken is already cooked. It's only the outside coating needs to be nice and crispy. So I hope you try out this recipe, guys.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today's recipe is this super simple recipe that you can make on the weekend, or you just don't want to make something very elaborate. So today is an easy recipe of garlic chicken. So let's just jump straight ahead into today's recipe. So let's see today's lovely and simple to make garlic chicken recipe. Let me take you through the ingredients. There are very few ingredients. So here I have 2 medium-sized onions that I've chopped fine, 20 cloves of garlic, half an inch of ginger, and 1 green chili that I've just cut up into half. Here there are about 8 to 10 curry leaves and about 1/4 cup of coriander leaves, chopped fine. 1 medium-sized tomato, chopped fine. Half a teaspoon of cumin powder or jeera powder. 1/4 teaspoon of garam masala. I'll leave a recipe of homemade garam masala down below. 2 teaspoons of Kashmiri red chili powder. 1 teaspoon of coriander or dhania powder. And this is 2 teaspoons of fennel seeds or sauf. And this is about 200 grams of chicken cut into smaller pieces. Now I'm going to heat a pan and I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of oil. Once the oil is nice and hot, I'm going to add these fennel seeds and I'm going to saute them in the oil. And you'll get this beautiful aroma of these fennel seeds or sauf. They have a sweetish kind of an aroma. Next, I'm going to add the ginger, the garlic, and the green chilies. We're going to fry all of this for at least half a minute, till the rawness of the garlic and the ginger goes away. Then I'm going to add the curry leaves and I'm also going to add the chopped onions. And now I'm going to fry everything on a medium flame for at least 10 minutes. We want the onions to completely turn into a dark golden color or a darkish brown color like this. Once that is done, just transfer it to a bowl and let it come completely to room temperature. Once it comes to room temperature, I'm going to add the tomato and I'm going to grind this to a very smooth paste without adding any water. Now I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of ghee to the same pan. This is the ground paste. And I've also added about half a cup of water to the mixer jar in which the masala was ground. And this is the masala water. We're going to use it in the recipe. We will also be needing 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder or haldi powder. Now once the ghee is nice and hot, I'm going to add this ground masala paste. And we're going to fry this paste for at least a whole minute. We're going to fry this on a medium flame till it changes to a darkish color and starts to ooze out a little bit of ghee or oil. So this is also very key to this recipe, that you fry this paste really well. Now I'm going to add all the powder masalas. That is the coriander powder, the cumin powder, the Kashmiri chili powder, the garam masala, and the turmeric. And again, we're going to saute this for another whole minute. And I'm also going to add some salt to taste. And now again, I'm going to mix everything and fry everything for a whole minute. Frying the masala paste is very key and very important to this recipe. That brings out all the flavor to this recipe. So fry everything for a whole minute. And you will see now that the masala changes into a very darker color, and you see some ghee or oil oozing out of the mixture. It changes its consistency, and this is the time we're going to add the chicken. Now you can use chicken on the bone also for this recipe. And I'm going to coat the chicken really well with this bagar or this masala. That's also very important. See that all the pieces are nicely coated with this chicken, with the masala, sorry. So take your time and let the masala coat the chicken really nicely. Now this is more of a drier dish, but if you want to have a little bit more of gravy, you can increase the water from half a cup to 1.5 cup or 1 cup, depending on how much gravy you need. I'm keeping this dish dry, more on the drier side or semi-dry. So now I'm going to add this 1/4 cup of masala water. And again, I'm going to mix everything really, really well. And we've done up with all the ingredients. Now all we have to do is just cook the chicken till it's really nicely done. So mix everything really nicely. And then we're just going to cover and cook this for about 8 to 10 minutes on a low flame, stirring in intervals. And finally, our lovely garlic chicken is all ready. All it needs is a lovely garnish of some fresh coriander. You can have this with some chapatis, some rotis, some naan, or some dal and rice. It tastes really very delicious. So do give this recipe a try. Chicken and veg casserole. The ingredients are very, very simple. So in the ingredients, I'm going to be using about 1 cup of white sauce. So let me show you how I prepare this white sauce. So I heat a pan, I add 1 tablespoon of butter. Once the butter starts to melt, I'm going to be adding 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour or maida. You can also use whole wheat flour. Just fry this for about half a minute. And then we're going to add 1 cup of milk and whisk this to a very, very smooth paste. So that's our white sauce for us. So let's see what else we're going to be using for this amazing, delicious casserole. So for the rest of the ingredients is 1 cup of boiled and shredded chicken, about 200 grams. Then I'm going to be using 1 cup of diced bell peppers or capsicum, 1 cup of broccoli, half a cup of garlic, 1 tablespoon of pizza pasta seasoning, 1 tablespoon of red chili flakes or as per taste, half a tablespoon of pepper powder, some extra virgin olive oil for cooking, and some salt to taste. We're also going to be using 2 medium potatoes which I've boiled and mashed up, and half a cup of cheese or 1 cup of shredded cheese. So let's start by first prepping up the veggies for this dish. So I've heated up a pan and I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Then I'm going to saute the finely chopped up garlic. You don't need to heat the olive oil a lot. So you just fry the garlic. Now we're going to add up these finely chopped up bell peppers or capsicum. You can use green capsicum or you can use these lovely colorful bell peppers. Saute that too. on a low to medium flame. Now we're going to add the broccoli, saute that too. And now we're just going to season our dish with the pizza pasta seasoning. If you don't have pizza pasta seasoning, you can just go with a little bit of oregano. Now we're going to add the pepper powder. And we're going to add the chili flakes. Now, if you don't have chili flakes, you can also use Kashmiri red chili powder. You can also go with a little bit of paprika. And now we're just going to add our salt to taste, and our veggies are all ready. So now we're going to start assembling this casserole. It's very easy and it gets ready really quickly. So first I want you to preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 10 minutes. While the oven is getting heated, we're going to prep up our dish. So in an oven-proof casserole dish like this, we're first going to put a layer of the veggies. Now you can also add veggies of your choice. You can add carrots, you can add baby corn, you can go with mushrooms, you can add whatever vegetables you like. Now we're going to add this boiled and shredded chicken. What I've done is I've just boiled the chicken for about 5 to 10 minutes in some hot water, and then when it cooled down, I've just shredded it. So now just mix up the chicken and the veggies well together and flatten up this layer a bit. Now we're going to add a layer of the mashed up potatoes. We're going to flatten this layer using the back of a spoon or a spatula. And then we're going to add this lovely white sauce which we've prepared. Now the consistency of this white sauce is always the ratio rather is 1:1:1. So you use 1 tablespoon of butter, 1 tablespoon of flour, and 1 cup of milk. And then you're just going to put some shredded cheese on the top. You can go with whatever cheese you like, with cheddar, mozzarella. I'm just using normal Amul processed cheese. And then we're going to bake this in our oven, which we've preheated for 25 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius or 150 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's all ready. Let it come to room temperature before you cut up this casserole. You can cut it up into 4 or smaller pieces, and it's all ready to serve. This goes even very well with some garlic bread as an accompaniment. Special Sunday chicken curry recipe. Now here I've just washed and wiped clean some dried red chilies, and now I'm just cutting off the tips. I'm using about 8 to 10 of these dried red chilies. These add a lovely flavor as well as a lovely color to this curry. Then I'm going to be grating this dried red coconut. We require about half a cup of it. This is called sukha khobra. So we're going to use the dried coconut, not the fresh coconut for this recipe. Then I'm also going to be using 1 inch of ginger, and I like to grate the ginger. Now I have 2 light green chilies. I'm just going to cut off the tips of the chilies, and then I'm going to cut each chili into 4s. Now I also will be requiring about 8 to 10 cloves of garlic, and I am going to be thinly slicing 1 medium-sized onion. Now, besides these ingredients, we're also going to be using some powder masalas. So here I have some quarter teaspoon of haldi powder, quarter teaspoon of garam masala, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and 1 tablespoon of coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder, and about 2 tablespoons of Malwani masala. Now in a pan, I'm going to be heating about 2 tablespoons of oil, and I'm going to be frying the green chilies, the ginger, the garlic. Then we're also going to be adding the onions, the red chilies, as well as the grated coconut. We're going to fry all of this well together. So now once our masala has completely cooled down to room temperature, we're going to add a little bit of water and we're going to grind this to a very fine paste. Also, I'm adding some oil to my pressure pan and I'm using boneless chicken breast which I've washed thoroughly and cut up into small cubes, and we're going to fry this well in the oil. Now, what we like to do at our place is we like to strain this masala paste by adding a little water at a time. The reason being that we don't like this coconut or onion or all the other masala granules in the gravy. We like to have a smooth curry. Now, if you are okay with having the masala, you can just skip this step of running it through a sieve. But I put a little bit of water at a time and I completely squeeze out all the goodness of this ground paste. As you can see here, I've nicely squeezed out all of the masala, and what we're left with is this lovely liquid masala paste which we're going to use in our curry. Now the chicken is all ready, so we've just transferred it to another pot. Now in the same pressure pan, I'm going to add some more oil. And now we're going to add all our powder masalas, that is the turmeric or the haldi, the cumin or the jeera, the garam masala. And we're going to saute this masalas a little. We're going to add this red Kashmiri chili powder. This adds a lovely color to this curry. Now we're going to just mix all the masalas together and fry them well in this oil. And then I'm going to be adding this Malwani masala. Now this is a ready-made bought masala. It's easily available. And then finally, after frying everything, we're going to add this ground paste. I'm also going to be adding a little water and rinsing the bowl in which the paste was so that we don't lose any of the goodness. And I'm going to be adding that water too. Now we're going to let this just boil a bit. Now you can add as much of the Malwani masala as you like or as little as you like. And then we're just going to add this chicken that we've just fried a little bit in the oil. We're going to mix everything well. And now we're going to let this just cook for a minute or two on a low flame. And now, of course, we have to flavor this. So I'm going to just flavor it with some salt to taste. Again, we're going to mix everything well together. Now, if you don't have a pressure pan, you can also cook this in a normal big vessel. Only thing, you'll have to simmer it for about at least 20 minutes. But here I'm using this pressure pan, so I'm just going to pressure cook it for 1 whistle on high, and then I'm going to simmer it for 15 to 20 minutes. And after cooking it for about 10 to 15 minutes, this is the lovely curry that we finally get. This goes amazingly well with some lovely pav or some boiled